Okay, Google. How do you say good morning in Chinese?
In Chinese, that's 早上好.
早上好。
We can now translate back and forth. To try it, just keep speaking in either language.
Okay, all right. 早上好. 早上好. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I am your balloon popper, JJW, and that there over there in the orange. What is that? An orange? Is that a college jersey? What does that say?
Hurley.
Hurley. Okay, a Hurley sweater. That there's the balloon artist himself, the one, the only, the famous, the man with the voice of gold, the star of this show.
JJW. Hey.
No, Deegan. It's the balloon artist Deegan. And we meet here every morning to talk about the news and politics and stuff and whatever and make jokes. Basically, this is just a disgusting self-exercise in making myself laugh and occasionally getting Deacon to chuckle.
We
And
have
we
been
already went through
told
dads.
several times, we have been told lovingly several times that this whole show that we do now should just be a telephone call. And JJ left right in the middle of the punchline there. So to prove my point, that's why this whole show should be a telephone call.
Yeah, you guys should just make a phone call. Yeah, we do. Yeah. This is it. You're invited. You don't like it? Well, there's the whole other rest of the internet to watch. You can go watch some old man on the deliver the State of the Union address if you want. Yeah.
Did you watch that last night? Did you watch State of the Confusion last night?
No,
I would rather dip my balls in Tupelo honey and sit on a fire ant hill than to listen to that moron blather on about how awesome he is and do his re-election campaign in the State of Confusion address. Thank you, Cat Turd, for that lovely, lovely descriptive.
I mean, what do you want to do? Are you gonna tune in to get lied to? Like, I mean, you do here. You show up here to get lied to.
We're fake. We're fake.
This is all in good fun. Only one show is lying to you and also crippling the economy.
That's
not
us.
this.
That's
oh.
All right. So
anyway, good morning. How are you? You sleep okay?
Good. Everything's good. And, in my world, we got some nasty weather coming through Kentucky here today. So hope everything's good in Texas.
Did that freeze ever let up? You guys get that ice melted?
Yeah. Okay. It's gone. Yeah. And my
face is healing up.
The face is healing up pretty good. As you can see, that's where the stick went into when I fell.
That's bad.
Went straight in. So
he also broke his ribs.
I cracked my ribs up here. They're hurting. They're still hurting. All through.
Yeah, the thing is that you can't do anything about it. You got cracked ribs. It's like they're just gonna have to mend.
Yeah, I know. Somebody, I don't remember who it was like, "You gonna go to the doctor?" I'm like, "No, I can take."
You know what they do?
I take $100 bill and throw a garbage can right here. I don't need to go to the doctor to throw away money. I can do it right here.
Right. Yeah.
So I've got some cracked ribs and they hurt. It hurts to do things that you wouldn't think about. Like Kendra and I went to the store and I have to get lactose-free milk, and the lactose-free milk is in the very top on the very far left, and it's never pushed to the front. It's always where I've got to get a fucking step stool. Oops, my bad. To get a step stool to reach back there and get it. And I just wasn't thinking, and I reached my arm up to reach back there and get it, and I was like, oh, I cried out in the middle of Walmart, and Kendra's like, are you okay? And I was like, I forgot about my ribs. And I just reached up really hard to get it. I was like, oh. And
did they have like
when I laugh and whatnot, I can feel my ribs kind of hurt from it.
Do they have like those little columns in the middle of Walmart with a little button on it? I mean, sometimes a hazard cleanup kit, but you can push the button and be like, I need an associate.
No, we're not. We just yell, "Hey, mama, we dropped some pickles over here."
I fell down on the ice and busted my shit. Somebody get me some milk. Get some help.
Yeah,
dude.
it was driving me crazy because I had that. If you saw, I had that big scab right there, and when I was moving my face like this, it was like Just feeling weird. All right, let's talk.
All right,
Talk
we got to hurry up. You remember our new thing is in the first 10 minutes we have to talk about the title.
What is your? Why are we still talking about balloons, JJ? I want to know why.
Did you see the
State
pile?
of the Union address was last night.
I am
We're talking
so
about
grateful
balloons.
that you piled a bunch of stories in. I was like, this is great. I didn't have to look. And then I'm looking through and I'm like, what do I talk? What am I going to make this show about? Because
I didn't give you any title stories. No, I gave interesting stories.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything else. And the only thing that happened was the State of the Union, and neither of us want to talk about that right now. So I got to find something to talk about. So you guys know that the balloon. The mighty Joe Biden defended us from a balloon this week after it had visually offended and violated all of North America. Finally, Joe Biden popped it and brought it down in the ocean. The U.S. releases the first pictures of the Chinese spy balloon recovery. Look at this. We got American sailors and Marines pulling this wrecked piece of trash out of the ocean. Unlike the Pacific Ocean, we are not going to allow the Chinese garbage to just pile up and make like a plastic island. We're going to pick it out, see what's in there. Do you think there's anything of value? Do you think this was actually maybe a civilian thing that just went wrong, or do you think it was really like a spy balloon that was spying on at least 2 nuclear sites for over the United States? Do you have any inclination, any feeling about one way or the other?
If it were me, it wouldn't have been either one. It would have been a test. I'm just going to fly a fucking balloon up here and I'm going to put a bunch of really weird looking shit on it to make you think whatever. And I'm going to see how you react. There's not going to be anything on it. I'm just going to see how you react. That's what I would do. I would set up I call them rabbits. I would just throw a rabbit out there and let it run and see if you're going to chase the son of a bitch. I'm going to see how you react.
And if this was a test, how did we do?
We failed this test enormously. we passed on. It depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at it from China's standpoint, we passed the test with flying colors.
Sure.
But if we look at it from our standpoint, we failed the test with flying colors. I don't know. I hope I'm completely wrong, but I'm just saying that's what I would do. That's what I do. Like when I don't anymore, but when I started at like the bigger radio stations, one of the little things that was told to me to do, and I did it, is you drop little pieces of information to certain people when you first start. It doesn't necessarily have to be truthful. It doesn't have to be a lie, but it doesn't have to be anything detrimental. But you drop certain little bitty pieces of information that you see how these pieces of information travel, how they live, and where they go. And you know who you can trust and who you can talk to and who you can say stuff to and who you can't. I used to do that all the time. There were like 3 or 4, especially at radio stations.
I had a manager that did this. We lived in a small town, and it was probably like 20,000 people during the school year, and then like significantly fewer. Maybe my number could be wrong. I don't know, but it was a lot less out of the school year. But he managed a store. He managed a store there, and occasionally he would just talk to customers as they come in, and he would tell them stuff like, "Oh, I think they're going to build like a super Target here in town," and there was no plan for them to build a super Target. He was just going to see if he could, how far that rumor would spread from like customer. Yes, you're right. The same thing.
Right.
So
I love that. Yeah, just
he's
to see.
A cool dude.
That shit's alive. Yeah. Information lives. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, do you think we'll know what was in this balloon? Do you think they'll actually tell us, or do you think they will tell us with such confidence that it's a lie? That they will lie with confidence.
I don't know, but okay. So I can see him hauling this thing out of there, and this looks like a framing rig of some kind to which you would attach something of importance, right? So either that something of importance got blowed the f up, or it fell in the ocean and is gone, or it's been taken off already, and
that's probably the logical explanation there. All right.
So, because you saw the picture of it with a big array with like, satellite, not satellite, like solar arrays and stuff on the side. But here the frame looks totally intact. It doesn't even look bent. The balloon is obviously
just
busted.
some little bitty part, and we're not seeing the whole picture.
Yeah. So whatever was on here. So I don't know. But okay. So China balloon, spy balloon. I mean, I'm not sure what they get from a spy balloon that they couldn't get from satellite photos anyway. And I don't know that they have satellites, but you just have to assume they do. But it's not good that they can run stuff over. But
that's why I'm saying this is so weird that I would have just been like, let's just see what happens, you know? And if they shoot it down, we can be like, that was not nice. That was a research, and we didn't do any. We've got plausible deniability, you know.
Right.
If they shoot it down, so let's do it. Let's just do it and see what happens.
What's
the worst that can happen? They'll destroy it. That's the worst that can happen.
Yeah. I don't know why we didn't. It's absurd that we didn't do it like when we first detected it. Okay, so
we needed. The reason we didn't do it when we first detected is because all of the Democrats already knew they already knew that they've been sitting on information for 2 or 3 years that these Chinese spy balloons flew over while Trump was in office, and they
knew. Apparently,
they were being quiet about this information in hopes that they could use it in the future.
That's the only thing that makes sense, right?
Oh my God, another balloon came over with Joe Biden, so they're like, "Yo, let's wait so that we can burn Trump on this and blame it on Trump." So that's why they do that.
I mean, like, you know, the rest of us with normal eyeballs and telescopes and cameras didn't see these Trump era balloons.
No.
But the Democrats apparently knew about it. The intelligence community knew about it, and then Joe Biden retroactively discovered it historically that it had happened in the past when it was very convenient.
Joe Biden go back in time and use his laser eyes to destroy those?
Oh, the last thing we need is a Kang Joe Biden. Go back and Joe Biden. Joe Biden has some more. Joe Biden, the conqueror. That's what we need. So, okay. So consider these balloons, these Chinese balloons that can fly across, I don't know, the Arctic and then come over here and hang out in the United States. And then, have you ever heard of a hypersonic missile? Hypersonic. They're so fast they can't be shot. Russia's got some hypersonic missiles, and the U.S. has some hypersonic missiles, and China in 2018 had some hypersonic missiles. And you know what they did with them? They didn't put them on a jet, sir. They did not put them on some ground-based launching platform.
Yeah,
no, they do exactly what you think you would do with hypersonic missiles.
A giant robot.
They hang them from balloons.
Oh.
So back in 2018, China state-owned TV had footage of this high-altitude balloon dropping hypersonic weapons. So I guess the thing is, you strap a bunch of nuclear bombs to this thing, and you just let it go up in the air. And then once again, the Chinese, all them Chinese guys are sitting around the table going, can you believe that they just let it float right over the whole thing? Like, nobody's stopping us.
Nobody stopped it at all.
Nobody's stopping us.
Nobody pays attention to stuff like this, JJ. Go out on the street and ask 100 people if they know about this story, and you will get 0 people that know about this story right here. It was the same thing that was going on when Kim Jong-un or whatever over there in North Korea was shooting all them missiles up in the air and they were exploding. And the media over here was saying, "Oh, they're not going far enough to do anything," and he keeps failing. He keeps failing until one guy said, "Those missiles are going just the appropriate spot in the air for not nuclear missiles, for like an electromagnetic missile and stuff like that." So there's more than just nuclear crap. So I mean, yeah, and nobody paid attention to that story is what I'm getting at. So nobody knows this story, JJ. Nobody's ever heard of this. So I think you're making it up. What website is this from? Is this a reputable news source?
It's a good point. This is from Da Feng Cao.
No,
let's see.
I can't. You
And
can't even say it.
I don't have any. Yeah, I can't claim to know who he is. And that sure as hell looks like Dr. House, though. He says it's not lupus. Yeah, I'm not sure who this guy is, but it's reported here on zerohedge.com, which is a news site with 7.5 out of 100 credibility.
That's pretty good.
It's not zero.
It's
And
not
I'll
zero.
remind our audiences that NewsGuard has not given us credibility at all. So we are going from 0 to 7.5, which is like way more.
Mm-hmm.
Way more. So the idea with these hypersonic missile gliding things is that the balloon takes them up in the air, float them over somewhere, and then you let them go and they glide. And then I don't know how they go. I don't know how you go from glide to hypersonic without turning the jets on. But once they're going hypersonic, apparently they're too fast for you to like shoot down with your Death Star lasers or your anti-missile systems or whatever. HGVs are generally launched by rockets in a similar manner to traditional missiles. Upon reaching orbit, they detach from the rocket and fly through the atmosphere using their own momentum. Oh, okay. Oh, so you float these dudes all the way up into like the atmosphere. Isn't that cool? Humanity, we are absolutely trying to wipe ourselves out. We're doing the best we can. All right, that's your title segment of Chinese hypersonic nuclear bombs. Everybody needs to invest in those super lasers. Just pick some super lasers up. Zap.
All right. Things. Can I go to another story?
Please do.
All right. You may remember last week we read if you didn't, you need to go back and look for it. The story where I don't remember where it was, where the woman was pronounced dead. She was put in the body bag. She was taken to the funeral home, and she was they was getting her out and whatnot, and she was like breathing in the body bag and freaking out the person, and the nursing home or whatever was getting in trouble for all this mess and whatnot. Well, JJ, another funeral home discovers a woman is presumed dead, is still alive.
Really?
An 80-year-old woman was pronounced dead at a New York nursing home, but found to be breathing 3 hours later at the funeral home where she had been taken. The woman was pronounced dead at Walters Edge Rehab and Nursing Center on Saturday. She was taken to the funeral home, and she was discovered breathing about 3 hours later. She was taken to the hospital. No update on her condition was available yesterday. So authorities in Iowa said that a 66-year-old woman was declared dead on January 3rd up there when she was receiving hospice care. The woman was placed in a body bag and taken to a funeral home where workers found that she was breathing later and called.
Right.
What's going on?
It's not written here, but I heard that one of the workers heard some lady yelling, "Psych!"
No.
It's a little muted.
That's terrible.
No.
No, seriously,
she died.
Do you think it's ineptitude from our medical workers or the people that work there?
Would you think that perhaps that American higher education is not quite,
and that's what they've said. That
not quite educating our healthcare workers to tell people how to take a pulse, or back in the like 1600s, 1700s, we already had a way to check for vampires. You just take a little piece of glass and you put it up to their nose, right? You just see if that thing fogs up. Oh, they're not dead yet.
Oh, okay.
So,
but I'm sure you're going to get some bullshit medical Democrat excuse that, well, there's a reason for this, and it's because of this, because I'm educated. You don't know. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm sure it's just been invented this year. All right, moving on.
How about this? I got this one. We should talk about this for just a second. It won't take very long. It'll if your morning is not up and excited already, just think about this. Think about this, everybody. The U.S. trade deficit surges to a record high of nearly $950 billion. That's trade deficit. So our exports increased last year 17.5% to nearly 3 trillion. But, and this is the trick. This is the trick. If you're, let me just do this here for a second. This is the trick. If you're like making stuff and selling stuff, and you're doing really good and you're selling more stuff than you've ever sold and you're just doing gangbusters business, the way that you make that a failure is then if you spend more than you make. So like you make a bunch of money, but then you're like, I'm going to spend like 30% more money than that. Then you turn your incredible success into a failure. So while our exports increased to 3 trillion, our imports rose to 4 trillion. So we now have a $950 billion deficit. So good job, America. Or maybe, well, let's see. If this is the Trump era, what would we say? Who would we say is responsible for allowing us to have more imports than exports? If it was the Trump era, it would be like,
I don't know. You got boring
Cheney?
stories.
They wouldn't say, yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. You know, they would blame Trump, but you know, it's not Trump's fault. It's not Biden's fault, except, you know, some of it probably is. All right. That's all.
My turn now.
We gonna get poor.
JJ gets a story, then I get a story. We're gonna start doing it. This is our new format.
TikTok.
JJ does boring stories.
TikTok.
Cool stories. A new phase of water has been detected, JJ.
Oh, cool. What does that mean?
See, this is the stark difference. This is the yin and yang of the show, people. You're seeing it right now. JJ thinks Donald Trump finance stories are awesome, and I think they're beyond boring. And I think new phases of water being detected are awesome, and he thinks they're beyond boring.
But like, where do you find this water? Or what state is it
water
in?
Okay, this is water that is between. They found it in two ways. It's between a solid and a liquid, and it's between a liquid and a gas. And it is when it's down into the nano like suit. You'd have to read the freaking. I read the thing last night. And it's kind of, but I mean, you'd have to read it. They've shrunk it down to the point to where they found these two new phases of water where water is able to. Right here, the researchers found that water is confined into a 1 molecule thick layer. It goes through several phases, including a hexatic phase and a super ionic phase. And if you read down, it tells you how those phases are, you know. And how it's like
neither a solid nor a liquid, but something in between.
Yeah, the researchers found that the 1 molecule thick layer of water within the nanochannel showed rich and diverse phase behavior. Their approach predicts several phases, which include all kinds of. They're thinking that they're able to find water in space in places that we have never been able to find it because we didn't know to look there. You see what I'm saying? That water can be refined into these little lattice work patterns in atoms and stuff that we're finding now, and that we've never known to look there before for water.
No, hang on.
I just think this is opening our brains as human beings in our understanding of things. You know, 150 years ago, we didn't know X that we know now. Well, in 100 years, they're going to be like, oh, well, yeah, until 2023, they discovered there was, you know, more than 3 or 4 phases of water. We discovered the 2 new phases. I just think this is us as a species getting smarter, discovering stuff. I think this is.
Don't you have to have it like at a certain temperature, and then you can't really deviate that much? How much can we use this?
You got to read the thing.
Yeah, okay? I mean, I see it. I'm seeing this. It's like,
they're saying that we have discovered that water traps and freezes and does this, and you know, it does this in places that we never knew that it could do it before. So the whole thing is we can look for water in space now in places where we're like, no, that doesn't have water. Well, we didn't know to look there like this. Now, when we look there this way, it might be, oh my God, that thing's got all kinds of water. Now, when we look on Mars and we could look at it this way and be like, oh, wow, yeah, there's a lot of water that was here thousands of years ago that's trapped in like this now. And we just need to go through this refining process to get it, is what I'm getting at. I thought it was a really cool discovery.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
I'll pop this right now in our Discord server. If you will go to our Discord server and go to the news drops, I will pop that in the news drops. It's there right now for the folks to read it, because I know not everybody likes reading those brainy articles and stuff, but I do. And I have to sit down and quiet and actually read and not have any kind of bull crap in the background. So, yeah, it was really cool.
I said, empty your mind.
Empty your mind.
Empty your mind.
Be formless, shapeless, like water.
We're going to have to revise Bruce Lee's advice.
It becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot.
That's Taoism.
The water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Be water. That's Taoism. Lao Tsung. That he is straight up quoting Taoism. That's straight up Taoism.
He seemed, okay. I mean, I've seen that clip like 100 times.
I love that. I tell myself that all the time in my brain, JJ. I say that exact same thing when I start to get mad or I say, be water, be water, be like water. I say that all the time. All the time.
Bruce kind of had those insane person eyes, though. He was totally into it. He was into it and selling the message or whatever. But he had a little bit of like the crazy eye
while he was passionate about it. It's like, did you like water? Only that man and maybe Chuck Norris could look that way and you not judge them.
Right. When Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez does it, you're just like, oh, she's crazy. She's nuts. It's the same eyes.
That's the difference between a rich person and a poor person. One's crazy and one's eccentric.
All right, my turn. You get to talk about water. I mean, honestly, I think like how would that be useful? I'm sure maybe some way that'll be useful for us to find water or use it in a different way. I don't know.
Maybe store water for certain things.
But then part of my brain is like, maybe we can answer the question of whether or not water can be wet. Can water be wet? Okay. I don't know.
Elaborate, JJ. You're trying to make a joke or you going to set up?
No, I'm serious. Like if you put something in water, that thing is wet. But then
if you want to get technical, JJ, no, it's not, because when you immerse your hand into water, the molecules on your hand are repelling the water at a molecular level. So the water is not technically touching your skin. It's being repelled at a molecular level. So technically you're not sitting in that chair and that shirt is not touching your body. It's being repelled at a molecular level. It's floating off.
Hang on.
If you want to get technical, I'm just gonna.
I didn't think about this. I am now going to add that to the list of things that I am repelling to.
So yeah,
all right.
You don't get wet.
Yeah. All right. Deke, we've been talking about OpenAI and Open Chat GPT and all of this stuff.
Yeah. We've been having fun.
A couple days ago, we talked about how we talked about how OpenAI is biased. And it's biased because there's the learning language model that they chose is biased, implicitly biased, and you can't unbias the AI. Even if they keep retraining it, they're still piping in a bunch of biased information. So OpenAI is biased. Well, how biased could it be? Well, I'll tell you how biased it could be. It's going to be it's pretty biased. Now OpenAI, not only can you cheat with homework on it or pretend to make art with it, you will soon be able to moderate things like Twitter and other social media. You'll be able to catch people making bad posts. OpenAI will be able to moderate your platforms for you, like Discord, which, by the way, you guys can join right now, the Discord FUNSLINGERS, and come hang out with us and drop news stories and add them to the show, or hang out with us while we do while we EFAP the State of the Union later. today. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. But okay, OpenAI. OpenAI content moderation system is programmed to seek and destroy conservatives, especially men or Republicans. So almost nobody will be surprised that it is designed to do that. And maybe it wasn't designed to do that intentionally, but it definitely does that. Here I have a post from one Kierkegaard Emil, who provides this cool graphic. Check this out. Behold, a list of how much OpenAI likes various groups based on how often questions are called hateful. That is, when you write a question in OpenAI, OpenAI not only responds with like, I'm an AI, I can't give you an opinion on that, but it will also say, by the way, the question you're asking is hateful. Okay, so it will say things like that. So behold, based on how much OpenAI says your question is hateful, it's basically a list of how popular groups are in the collectivist left worldview. In other words, these are protected classes. Here, if you can see, I hope you guys can see this. Let me see if I can zoom. No, there's not zoom happening. No zoom's happening. At the top, we have disabled people, most protected. You can't ask questions about disabled people. That's super, super hateful. Also, black people or gay people. People with a disability, Asians, homosexual people, transgender people, gays, lesbians, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know how the stack goes. These are all, asking questions about these people is hateful. But if you go way down here to the bottom, we'll see things like lower middle class people. Lower middle class people, you can ask questions about them. That's not hateful. Or right wingers. You can ask questions about those crazy right wingers. That's not hateful. Or educated people. How about this? University graduates. That's okay. Republican voters. That's fine. You can ask whatever offensive questions you want about Republican voters, Republicans, and wealthy people. So, OpenAI hates you, or maybe hates you, and this tool will be used in content moderation. So as Twitter or Google, so Google's got their own AI, and they released some of that this week, I think. But as these platforms adopt AI, one of the jobs they're going to give AI is, hey, AI, go find people making bad posts and take those down and stop
Take them down.
Because we don't want people making bad posts and saying bad things about bad stuff, like Republicans or educated people or conservatives, all at the bottom of the list. Working class people, high school dropouts, evangelicals. Definitely don't want to hear that stuff.
Yes, they have a list.
All right, just in case you think the world's going to be fair. That's not going to be fair. All right, your turn, Deke. What you got? Be like water, my friend.
I opted to do hang on, my song's going off. I opted to not do a story that I was going to do because I thought that it was a little too
gay.
No, I thought that it might get us. I thought that it might be too controversial to talk about.
Oh my goodness, controversials. I don't know. I have no idea. Is it about magic?
It's a story that I came across. No, it's a story that I came across last night, and I was like, and I read it, and I was like, But since I've already, this may have been the setup.
Oh, hold on, Deke. Let's leave it up to the chat. Chat, you decide. Should Deke put this dangerous story?
My chat's not working this morning.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. I don't know if you guys are chatting or not. If you guys are chatting, I don't know. Send us a message like the number 8 equals and a giant capital D. See if you can do that.
I haven't seen anything this morning.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Gender-neutral God to be considered by Church of England. This is from the Telegraph. Right? For decades, a gender of God has been prompted debate within the church, with many calling for male pronouns, he and him, as well as reference to our Father to be scrapped in favor of either gender-neutral or female alternatives.
Right.
Now, in what would mark a departure from centuries of tradition, bishops are to launch a project on gendered language referencing God in church services later this year. The move has been criticized by conservatives who have warned that male and female imagery is not interchangeable. However, liberal Christians have welcomed it, claiming that a theological misreading of God as exclusively male is a driver of much continuing discrimination and sexism against women. Details of the plans emerged in a written question to the commission, which prepares and promotes forms of service and religious worships in the church. Any permanent changes or rewriting of scriptures with gendered language would have to be agreed by a future meeting of these people. It's
Rewriting.
not really hard to.
Hey,
No,
we just look. We got to rewrite the Bible a little bit. It says
do
a
you
little
know
bit.
how easy it is to rewrite the Bible, JJ? Do you know how easy it is to do that? Just the next time you're in a bookstore, you're in Barnes and Noble, walk through the religious section and count the number of different Bibles that are there. Not all the different Old Testament, all the different types of Bibles.
Yeah.
Joel Osteen has his own Bible. If you will go and look, he's got his own translation of the Bible. Do you see?
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. So there's like the King James, which was way back in the 1600s. They did that translation, and then we have like American Standard and English Standard, New International Version. A lot of times they're very consistent. The Reformed Bible is good.
To list all of them. There's thousands.
You know what? We also have, it's not like we have one copy of these original documents that we are translating. We have like thousands of copies of these original documents they get translated. Oh yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Oh, we do.
Thousands of copies.
Oh, I've never heard that we had thousands of copies.
I don't have it with me, but I have a Reformed Bible, and in the preface it talks about the original documents they went back and translated from original. I say original. I mean, when I say original, like they're very, very old because the documents were hand copied, for centuries. Mm-hmm. Okay. Deacon doesn't believe it.
Your turn. No, I don't. I don't believe that, but I'm stupid. So does that matter?
Geez, what are we talking about now?
I've got one or two more stories. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about with the stormtroopers thing.
That's just a funny story.
And where did I do with your Hasbro story? You had a Hasbro. That seemed like something you actually probably care about more. What's up with Hasbro? I say care about. It's very lightly.
Well, yeah, I was going to try to save all these entertainment stories till when we got closer to the end, but
yeah, but we're running out of gas.
Yeah, hell, I posted like 15 stories too. What the hell?
We're just cutting through them.
If you remember, we talked about this as well, quite a bit. Hasbro now owns Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast, WotC, bought out TSR years ago. TSR owned Dungeons and Dragons, so Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. That's where they come from, Magic the Gathering. Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. So Hasbro owns Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of Hasbro executives about, I don't know, a year ago or less got together and were talking, and they were like, hey, dude, do you realize that 70% of our company comes from Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, comes from Wizards of the Coast, that little division, Wizards of the Coast? 70% of the profits from our whole company comes from that. And they're like, really? That's bullshit. And they're like, nuh-uh, for real. All these fucking nerds with these games and these D&D and all this crap, they're paying for your Porsches, dude. And they're like, that's bullshit. Check it out. And they're like, holy shit, you're right. How in the hell can we milk these stupid fucking geeks? Because they're a bunch of geeks and idiots. So let's just do this and change this because they're getting rich for free off of us and doing all this crap. Well, the geeks revolted. And the D&D stuff, they completely tucked their tails to the point now that if they do anything in the future, all of their revenue is going to disappear because so many people have gone to their competitors that they will never get those people back. They won't get those people that were dedicated D&D people. that now have moved to Pathfinder and Cobol and stuff like
Right.
that, they will never get
They made they
back
took
like
they
they
took
were.
customers and they made them into mad customers.
Yes, they took the D&D fan base and they pissed on us. So we were like, bitch, we don't need you. I can invent this stuff in my head, and all these other people that have already invented this stuff in their head, I'm going to give them some money. All right. So now what did Hasbro decide to do? Well, shit, we screwed the pooch with D&D. Let's try to milk Magic the Gathering for as much as we can.
Right.
And what have they done over the years? Me and I played Magic the Gathering when it
I like
first
Magic.
came
It's
out
still
in the
fun.
early 90s, from alpha and beta up through
Right.
Ice Age and all that mess. And I've tried to get into the game or the mobile game and stuff like that many times. My problem is there are thousands and thousands of different cards now.
You can't stare at your screen that long, dude. You just
Can't
can't stand
I
it.
can't
Like, oh my God.
understand all of the shit that it takes to play this game anymore. It's been diluted so much that it's only the hardcore geeks and nerds are going to be playing this game. And that this is what it's come down to, that their stock has dropped 29%. And they're underperforming. They are afraid that because of this, I think the Dungeons and Dragons fallout is going to push Hasbro into a place that they didn't expect to go. And it's all because of their greed, and it's deserved.
Well, okay, so greed is, I mean, one way to say it. Another way to say it is like they realized how, they may have realized like exactly how much revenue their precarious company is based on these market segments, and then when they damage them or when they go down, like the whole company like sinks real fast. That's why you have to have your company's assets and your revenue streams diversified, so that if any one takes a dip, you're still kind of okay. Well, when your company is like entirely floated by Magic the Gathering, and then Magic the Gathering takes a hit, well, that's a big problem.
Says the bank reiterated its underperform rating for Hasbro as its $42 price target, which represents potential downside of 29% from its current levels. In November, they warned that Hasbro was killing its golden goose by over-monetizing Magic the Gathering. Hasbro continues to over-monetize the brands within its Wizards segment, which includes Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. Within its Wizards segment, Hasbro continues to destroy customer goodwill by trying to over-monetize its brands. The bank said that while... Okay, I'm sorry. I should have pre-read this, but basically, you see those three things highlighted? This is a tactic. I'm going to show you people right now a tactic that they use in media. Those three fucking sentences say the exact same thing 3 different ways. Read it. That says the exact same thing 3 different ways. You are being fed bullshit. Go ahead.
The bank reiterated its underperform rating for Hasbro and its $42 price target, which represents a potential downside of 29% from current levels. In November, BFA warned Hasbro was killing its golden goose by over-monetizing Magic the Gathering. According to BAFA, Hasbro continues to over-monetize the brands within the Wizards segment, which include, that's a redundant sentence, and Magic the Gathering and Dungeon. Quote, within the Wizards segment, Hasbro continues to destroy customer goodwill by trying to over-monetize its brands, BAFA said. Yeah, hey, this is how you pad a story.
3 times. That's how you pad a story. They said the exact same thing 3 times.
Dude, we should take some notes here.
And normally, I'm sorry, that's why I pointed that out, because see, that's the 2nd through the 4th paragraph of this story, and I'm just starting to read it. I read it last night, but I'm catching it today, and I apologize. That's why I pointed that out, because I'm like, they fucking said the same thing 3 times. Mainly Hasbro. Sorry, go ahead.
While you were doing that, I pulled down the annual report from Hasbro, but it's the 2021 report, and I started going through it, see if I could find like some interesting stuff. It's 42 pages long. It's going to take me a while to go through it. That's the report from last year. So I got to find that report from this year if it's been released yet, and it doesn't look like it's been released yet.
So for those that don't know, Hasbro right here said this. Hasbro wanted to change its 20-year-old open gaming license for Dungeons and Dragons in a bid to boost revenue ahead of an upcoming movie release based on the game. This is what pissed off people because 20 years ago they had this OGL, this open gaming license for people to create stuff inside the game, and we could basically, I could monetize it and make money off of it. And a lot of people have. So I'm creating stuff for a game that you own, but I'm not having to pay certain royalties because of this license. And they wanted to say, oh, no, that's bullshit. Y'all are making a bunch of money. We want some money for our game and whatnot. So I wanted to show you this. I want to throw this.
I got something to add to this. Go ahead.
I just want to show you this real quick because I am a content creator for Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and you might like this. This is something that I'm currently working on. But right now,
you should put up a store with your stuff, and then like we could pimp it.
I like to give away my stuff for free. I like to give all my content and stuff that I made. I like to give away for free to other people that struggle to make stuff because I enjoy making it and it comes very easy for me. And some people are very hard to make stuff. So right now, what I'm making in my world is a Dungeons and Dragons Marvel world. Okay. Where the Marvel people are superheroes and stuff are in Dungeons and Dragons. So I just wanted to show you real quick of my little thing that I'm making. That's one of my watchers. Can you see this?
It looks like Uatu a little bit.
Yeah, his name is. You see his name right there, Arud, Arud.
I got it. Oh, okay.
So this is what I'm doing. See, I'm making stat blocks. See, there's Reed Richards. I make stat blocks, and I'm making them for D&D. There's Susan Storm. She's an elf in this world.
Oh wow.
Johnny Storm. Clobbs. Hank Pym. Iron Man.
Marvel
Storm,
fantasy, huh? Like fantasy version of Marvel. They haven't really done that.
Colossus, Beast, Archangel. I've got a bunch.
Deke, how many of these characters in your in your new Marvel characters are gender non-binary?
I don't know what those words mean. Look, look at this. See, since we're in a D&D world, I made Kitty Pryde. Okay. Well, the cat race is called a Tabaxi. So there's Kitty Pryde in my world. She's a cat race.
Oh wow!
Spot. Look, who's this?
Yeah. So hey, are you using that wizard tool thing that you had that you made our characters with to make these guys?
Hero Forge. See, there's the last one. This is the one that I'm working on right now. Is Toad. I just made Sabretooth as a he's a shaman, like a barbarian shaman.
Where can people get this if they wanted to?
I have not got this published yet.
So when they do, we'll announce it. Or do you have a place that you
I was thinking about releasing it, distributing it in a certain spot and doing it like one at a time, like one a week, you know, a mutant a week for this is just for D&D people. I mean, if you want to add this, I've got a whole story and very easily to incorporate into your D&D world and stuff like that.
That's cool. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the Hasbro thing just a second because I found their third quarter report. Here you can see the third quarter major segment performance for Hasbro. They had their general consumer products went from 1.28 billion to 1.16 billion. So that's a 10% drop. But their Wizards of the Coast digital gaming, so that's their D&D, that's their Magic, and that's their video game stuff, went from 360 million to 300 million. That's a 16% loss, big loss. And their overall entertainment, which I guess that's maybe licensing out their characters for cartoons and stuff like that. I don't know. Went from 327 million down to 211 million. So the largest revenue stream they have is consumer products, and that's down, but the digital gaming and entertainment are down considerably. And the entertainment side took a operating loss.
Well,
the Wizard.
That's because they had a down year. Okay,
Right.
they didn't have a
Well,
lot of.
a
They didn't have a
quarter.
lot
This
of
is only a
books.
quarter.
Oh, well, they
This is
didn't have
3
a lot of.
months. They lost $60 million.
This is okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the 2022, 2021 over there.
Yeah, but that's
Interesting.
year over year. So this quarter versus last quarter, they made less money. So, that's what it is.
You've
But it's
got me
only for 3
confused.
months.
Is it for the? Okay, never mind. I got to talk.
It's for yeah.
I can't even
It's
explain it anymore. Okay.
yeah. So this kind of stuff gets executives kind of in trouble. You lose $60 million in 3 months compared to last year. Oof, you're gonna have some problems. So Wizards of the Coast revenues decreased 13%, excluding an $8.5 million impact of foreign exchange. The operating profit was down 36% and reflects lower revenue, higher product costs, and increment royalty expense with the new Universes Beyond card set release, and amortization of the acquisition of D&D Beyond, so that when they folded in that D&D Beyond into that other stuff they have, and then continued higher investment in development. And these declines were a little bit offset by launch-related product development for Dark Alliance that released in 2021. For the full year, on a constant currency basis, we expect high single-digit revenue growth behind the strong Magic the Gathering tabletop release schedule for the fourth quarter. Operating profit is expected to be at or above 40%. So Magic the Gathering tabletop release, that may be what saves their bacon here. So, let's look at that.
Well,
Magic
I know that in the D&D circles that the folks are still a little. They've been really quiet. Actually, they've been real quiet since Hasbro came back and was like, "Yo, we're sorry, and we're not changing crap, and we're only going to do this and blah blah blah." So they've been really really quiet, but they were wanting to protest and boycott the movie. And I don't know how many. I wish I could find the numbers. I wish we could find the numbers of how many people unsubscribed from their subscription service. Their subscription service is called D&D Beyond, and there's
right.
there's free D&D Beyond, but which is what I have. But then there is a paid D&D Beyond, that offers a lot more stuff. And with paid D&D Beyond, I can go in there and I can buy the books. Okay. So I go here to D&D Beyond. There's one of these books here this one here is Tyranny of Dragons, $29.99. And I can buy this book and read about whatever. Well, the funny thing is, the good thing about D&D Beyond is if I am on D&D Beyond and I have all of these books bought, and then I set it up to where we're going to play a game and I'm going to be part of your game and you're going to play with me and Brian and whoever else is going to play, you have access to every book that I have bought. So
really?
I've got a couple of buddies on here. Between them, I own every book but this one that just come out, Tyranny of Dragons.
Right.
And I don't give a crap. I own every. Look, I say download all. All available books are already downloaded.
I think I saw that thing at the bookstore, and it was like crazy expensive too. Oh, it was at Half Price Books, and it was behind glass, so maybe it was a limited edition version.
Yeah, probably.
Like
All right. So yeah, I thought you would like that since you were an old Magic the Gathering player, and we've been talking about how Hasbro's just been kind of pissing on their customers. I don't know if you people realize that, but Dungeons and Dragons geeks, man, we don't have anything else to do. Okay. You piss us off and we've got the time to go through strategies. We do this for fun.
Wow. So I found something that's kind of interesting. We're gonna have to go though, but I hadn't seen this before. I'm just running over this Magic the Gathering stuff. Apparently, they have an app of some kind called Spell Table, powered by Magic the Gathering. Okay. Check this out. I don't know what this is, but it looks like you take a camera and you aim it at your desk and you play Magic the Gathering with your friends over YouTube or whatever, which we could do without paying them. Yeah, you play your deck, they play theirs, and you guys play against each other.
Good God.
No? Yeah.
I think I might still have a few Magic the Gathering cards in one old deck that I've got set up. And to be honest, I kind of want to get it out and look because I know they're probably worth some money because I know there's regrowths and forks and all these alpha and beta cards in there that I've had forever. They're probably not in mint condition at all, but I know they're in there. I know exactly.
I know Jeremy's got this stuff. I don't have this stuff anymore, but Jeremy's got this stuff.
I think Rumble's chat was messed up today.
I mean, I see. Oh wow.
Rumble,
hey, no, yeah, I think YouTube's chat's messed up. Water is gender neutral, Brian. We had water's gender neutral. Be like water, my friend. Be gender neutral. That's Mr. E. Mr. E had some friends unsubscribe. Today's episode sponsored by Half Price Books.
If we could get it, maybe we could get D&D Beyond D&D to sponsor us. I'd say nice things about Hasbro.
Oh,
like, Hasbro rules. I love them.
I don't know how to D&D, but I'd love it. It's so good. I want to be
I'm completely a shill.
Maybe
man.
I could be a gender fairy. Do they have fairies? They must have fairies. I'm gonna be a fairy gender fairy.
Okay. You could be a gender neutral fairy. Do you want me to make you a D&D character, JJ? Do you want me to make you a D&D character?
No, I just stopped myself from making a joke that would probably get us
banned on YouTube.
Yeah, probably.
Make it.
Yeah, probably for a week. I'd probably get a strike. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Do it, JJ.
I don't know.
I'm sick of being the only one to get us banned. Tell me.
All right, I'm gonna be a gender.
No, I'm just
fairy, and my character will be depressed, and then self deletes eventually. Yeah. Oh no, it's not good.
I'll bring you back to life.
All right. But no, it doesn't self-delete. Hold on, that's not the story. Here's the story. We go to a village, we talk to the barkeep, and I find a counselor. And then I start enrolling in some mental health.
The shittiest backstory ever. We're not playing.
You don't want to play with me. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry, it's not our fault that YouTube messed up the comments. It is our fault the rest of this show. Bye.